Good day to you. I want to talk to you about selling our freedom. What is our freedom worth? If we look at Genesis chapter 47, verses 13 through 26. Now there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very severe, so that the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan languished because of the famine. You might remember this is in the time of Joseph, and there was a great famine in the region. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the grain which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. So when the money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came to Joseph and said, "Give us bread, for why should we die in your presence, for the money has failed?" Now notice, they've gathered up all the money by selling food or grain, for people's money. So all the money was brought into Pharaoh's house for this food. Then Joseph said, "Give your livestock, and I will give you bread for your livestock if the money is gone." So they brought their livestock to Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for the horses, the flocks, the cattle of the herds, and for the donkeys. Thus he fed them with bread in exchange for all their livestock that year. When that year had ended, now remember this went on for like 7 years. When that year ended, they came to him the next year and said to him, "We will not hide from my lord that our money is gone. My lord also has our herds of livestock. There is nothing left in the sight of my lord but our bodies and our lands. Why should we die before your eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants of Pharaoh. Give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land may not be desolate." Then Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh. For every man of the Egyptians sold his field, because the famine was severe upon them. So the land became Pharaoh's, and as for the people, he moved them into the cities from one end of the borders of Egypt to the other end. Only the land of the priests he did not buy, for the priests had rations allotted to them by Pharaoh, and they ate their rations which Pharaoh gave them. Therefore they did not sell their lands. Then Joseph said to the people, "Indeed, I have bought you and your land this day for Pharaoh. Look, here is seed for you, and you shall sow the land. And it shall come to pass in the harvest that you shall give 1/5 to Pharaoh. 4/5 shall be your own, as seed for the field and for your food, for those of your households, and as food for your little ones." So they said, "You have saved our lives. Let us find favor in the sight of my Lord, and we will be Pharaoh's servants." And Joseph made it a law over the land of Egypt to this day that Pharaoh should have 1/5, except for the land of the priests only, which did not become Pharaoh's. Basically, Pharaoh ended up getting a 20% tax or charge into everything. Now, this is a cautionary tale. This is what happens when you depend on your government too much, when you do not take personal responsibility and take care of yourself. Your government, no matter how well intentioned, is always willing to step in and take over. We've seen this down through history. Governments are always willing to control and take ownership of everything. Then only that ruling body really has any freedom, and everyone else becomes slaves. You'll notice these people, because they were not prepared for any kind of famine, any kind of trouble, they totally gave and sold everything just for food. And I'm not putting that down. We want to survive, and I get that. But I'm just saying that they could have prepared. They could have been more prepared. They could have handled this in a better way, I'm sure. But notice these people, they sold their freedom for food. They did this to themselves willingly, but not God's people. Israel lived apart in their own area. They were still affected by the famine, but they kept their herds and they survived. God took care of them and gave them a way to live and flourish. They became stronger than the Egyptians in their own land. Exodus chapter 1, verses 8 and 9. Now there arose a new king over Egypt, who did not know Joseph. And he said to his people, Look, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. This readily shows the difference in trusting in God and taking personal responsibility and taking care of ourselves, rather than trusting in man and the government. True lasting freedom is found with God. With God, we can survive and thrive through any adversity. So I want to thank you for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day. May God bless you and keep you safe. And remember, God loves you.